Madam Chairman, we're live.
Welcome to our afternoon session, September 24th. Next up is a public hearing for action item CUP 24-02. So we are going to hold on a portion of this. However, we are going to go ahead and open up the public hearing and take testimony today from those that are in the room. And Meredith, do you want to do any kind of a staff report at this point? Do we want to wait? What would you like us to do?
I can just do a brief staff update,
Okay.
especially because the applicants aren't here, so conveying their requests would be helpful. So Meredith Todd, City and Sustainability Planner for the City of McCall and what will formerly be known as the Impact Area shortly. But currently, this is an ongoing conditional use permit application to update the master plan applicable to the Pilgrim Cove campgrounds. Not campground, but little kids and family camp area. The applicants have requested to continue this public hearing to October 29th at 1:30 p.m. Because they would like to address a lot of the public comments that have been received in the last week more formally in writing on behalf of the board itself. So they are not here today, but you do have members of the public in the neighborhood who have taken the time to come in and testify. So I would recommend you take that public comment and then go on and continue the public hearing to that date specific because it's already open and noticed. I can answer any questions you have on the materials. I'll just be needing to make sure that the applicants review the recording of today so that they can address any additional questions or points. So
I think the only question I had, I read all this stuff, and it was the one was from the lawyer. Said they pretty well mitigated some of the issues already. Is that correct?
yes, and Ms. Soper is online to testify as well and cover those points. Thus far, all of the issues that had been brought to at least the Planning and Zoning Commission had been mitigated by the camp in various ways, be they moving buildings, moving RV pad spaces, or posting various speed limit signs on internal roadways. So any of the new comments that, other than those from Ms. Soper and who she represents, are new issues to be addressed as we go through the hearing before you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, since there is no applicant in front of us today, we will just go into public hearing for those that are in favor of this application. Seeing none, we will speak with those that are neutral to the application. Seeing none, and next up we will hear from those that are opposed to the application. Would like to bring things to our attention. If you will state for us your name and the city in which you reside.
Thank you, Madam Chairman and members of the commission. My name is Fred Shoemaker, and I reside in Boise, Idaho. My wife and I own and have owned the cabin at 2084 Pilgrim Cove Road, actually John Alden Road, for a little over 33 years. Save one, I'm the longest standing member of the board of directors of the Cove Association, Inc., and its immediate past president. That's the entity that is the HOA for Pilgrim Cove. We are opposed to the Cove Camp's conditional use permit, which seeks to accommodate its new commercial uses. We're opposed because of the increased wear and tear that it is bound to be caused on our roads and the increased traffic and risk to pedestrians and bicyclists that will certainly occur. Historically, the Cove Camp was a summer camp for kids, as you probably know. And by my observation, the traffic consisted of the main of 1 to 2 school buses arriving on a Sunday and departing the following Saturday. Today, the Cove Camp is a camp in name only. Instead of being a camp for kids, the camp's focus has shifted to an event center whose attendees create a far greater and different use of our roads than did the true camp. Despite, I'm sure, management's best efforts, cars come and go at all hours of the day. There's much greater traffic, and again, it increases the risk of these narrow roads as there are no separate sidewalks or paths for pedestrians. According to the Cove Camp's website, the quote slash event center fee is $9,000 for 2 nights, and up to 50 guests, with additional guests paying $110 per person. Now, the events may generate a lot more income, I'm sure, than a camp did, but they will also generate an increased amount of noise, dust, traffic, and cost for the HOA. To be clear, John Alden Road and Plymouth Road are owned by the association, and as you probably know, they're not county roads. Road maintenance and snow removal last year was by far our largest outlay. It was $88,443. We budgeted $90,000 this year, and the board has been willing to contribute to the church camp's charitable purpose by not asking it to participate in the cost of road maintenance or snow removal. But today, the Cove Camp has lost its way. It's no longer a summer camp. It has abandoned its charitable mission. According to the website, it even canceled the summer youth program for Valley County kids this year, asserting that it could not find staff to maintain the camp. Now, the Cove Camp has a special place in my heart, as both our children attended the Cove Camp. But the camp our children attended no longer exists. Instead, we have a commercial enterprise that may serve the United Church of Christ economic purpose, but is anathema to the interest of Pilgrim Cove's residential setting. In addition, the commercial use runs counter to the pledge we made to our insurance carrier to not permit commercial uses on our property. And indeed, although we have no written rule per se prohibiting commercial uses, just like we have no written rule prohibiting casinos or car washes, except for the occasional rental of cabins by some residents, there has never been a commercial use in Pilgrim Cove. In sum, I agree with the reasons, probably better said in 2 letters you've received, one from my fellow board members, Dave Penny, and another from Lance Saladay, who owns the cabin immediately adjoining or nearly adjoining the cabin on Plymouth Road. Those reasons stipulate, and again, better state why the conditional use permit should be denied. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Shoemaker, will you give me your address again?
My address in Pilgrim Cove is 2084 John Alden Lane.
Okay, thank you. Okay, does anybody have any questions at this point for Mr. Shoemaker?
No.
I do have one. So the road in this, and I've been asking city in order to help us with this, but there are questions. I can see the ownership clearly is with the Cove Association Incorporated, but is there an access agreement? Is there an easement agreement with the church camp, or?
No, there's no written agreement, nor really any oral agreement. It's just a matter of the associations and the board's charity that we've allowed the church camp to use those roads as a matter of contributing to its charitable purpose. We're a nonprofit too, of course, and the Cove Camp has been, until recent years, a good neighbor, and we've wanted to support it and still want to support it for its original purpose.
Did you bring this up at planning and zoning?
I did not testify at planning and zoning.
Did not. Was information provided to the planning and zoning?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so this is a new information for them. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, I have a sign-in sheet, so whoever would like to testify. Are you wanting to testify? Come on up to the mic and state your name and the city in which you reside.
My name is Judith Leister. My home is at 1073 Plymouth Road. I also have a home in Boise at 2774 North Lake Harbor Lane. And I don't even know what to say. We've been dealing with this. I own the property right next to the camp. And my concerns were, at the beginning, were the recreational vehicle lots right adjacent to my property. They would be directly east of my property. The 4 cabins going in up in the same area, and more importantly, the pavilion, which was scheduled to go in very close to my property, but has since we have since worked that out with the Cove, and they they have agreed to move that pavilion to a space more in the interior of their property. It's another 100 or more feet in, so it's not directly right up against or very close to my home. And I thought we had this all worked out, but apparently we don't at this point. So I was here just to agree and say, yes, that's the plan we'd worked out. The cabins the cabins are acceptable. The plan as we worked it out was acceptable.
I think we did see that testimony in the documentation, is that if you,
And Tricia is the attorney representing me.
okay, thank you. It looks like as long as that pavilion was moved, that you were in agreement, so I think, I do have one more question, Mr. Shoemaker. So the association, owns the road, so all of the people that live within that development access this road because they're a member of the association. So normally we see some type of a public road declaration. We see an easement across it with the right to use it. How is everyone using this? Because they're paying into the association?
Because they're a current contributing paid member of the association.
Okay. And
And-
is the camp also a paid member of the association?
No, it's not a member of the association, nor is it technically a member of the subdivision that the Cove Association, Inc. manages. It's a separate subdivision. And the Cove Camp and Ms. Leister are to be credited for reaching an accord for the issues that concern them. But I think those issues, if you will, are primarily personal and individual to Ms. Leister as the cabin owner next door.
Yes, please. And my other question then, Meredith, is there any other entities that are using this road as access without the correct documentation to do that?
That question I'm not sure of. It's been my understanding that because the camp owns lots 1, 2, and 3 of the first block of the original 1950 Pilgrim Cove ownership subdivision, they are granted access on Plymouth Road via that, within the access category and the utilities category note, I believe, on the original plat notes that were then reiterated in the follow-up replat to the Cove. They do, as the camp, own a different parcel that is outside of both of those, that's accessed via Plymouth Road through those original 3 parcels. That's part of the Glen Cove subdivision. But it would be definitely above my pay grade and expertise to say whether through access via original parcels, and whether being a paid member or just a lot owning member of a subdivision are appropriate grounds, especially since this is new information and I am not an attorney.
Interesting.
I think those are the questions that we are going to need some resolution to. So if the applicant can try and provide us something, some legal counsel or legal information, we'll definitely be talking to ours also. But that was my concern and what's been raised after the planning and zoning hearing. So do you guys have any other questions for Mr. Shoemaker while they're here, or Ms. Lisa while she is in the room?
Well, I got one question. It's really not a question that's relevant. I don't think it's about the HOA. I mean, could you guys, I know right now you're just granting them use of those roads and the snow removal. Are you looking at asking camp to now start helping take, development agreement to help pay for the snow removal also on some level?
We're not asking for the Cove Camp either in its new iteration or in its old iteration to pay for the cost of the road and never have. We are hopeful that the camp again will go back to its roots of being a real camp, a charitable organization, and one focused on serving kids, which continue to need outside recreation in this county and others.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, thank you for your participation today. We will table this. There is some definitely questions to be answered prior to the October 29th date that we have made certain. I am looking at the original plat, so I will look at the original plat notes that are there too, but we will see where we go with this one. So, all right, thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate you coming down to the courthouse to give us this information. So,
Thank you.
all
Oh my
right.
goodness.
Madam Chairman, did you want to hear from Ms. Soper? I apologize.
Oh, I think she was just representing Ms. Easter, so she spoke on her behalf. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, Your Honor, I will, or sorry, Your Honor, Commissioner, we had submitted our letter saying as long as the conditions that the city had recommended were required by the commission. I will say that the concerns brought up by Mr. Shoemaker were concerns that we had raised at the city level. And then over the course of several public hearings, the applicant did agree to mitigate the concerns that were specific to Ms. Leister. But if you look back at our original letters, we did raise the same concerns that Mr. Shoemaker is raising. And so Ms. Leister, while her concerns are mitigated, we're not registering any opinion as to whether there were other objections that other folks could have raised that sort of aligned with what we had raised originally.
Ms. Soper, can I ask a clarifying question? Were your original concerns on the roadway about the amount of use and the wear and tear, or was it about the legal ability to use the HOA roadway?
No, it was not specific to the roads because that wouldn't have affected Ms. Leister, but what it did, what we had put in our original letters was the fact that it did appear that the applicant, the camp itself had exceeded what would be allowed to be considered as a camp. And we had noted the commercial nature as things had changed, as Mr. Shoemaker had stated, in that it does appear to be more of a commercial operation. So whereas Ms. Leister's concerns are mitigated if the pavilion is required to be moved to the center part of the camp, which the most recent submissions do show, she's not going to speak to whether or not her original conditions or original concerns, aren't relevant still. They just happen to be mitigated as to her personally.
That part is familiar. Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and our next agenda item is not until 2 o'clock, so we will be back at 2 o'clock.